A very, 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 very pleasant good night to you. Islam. Islam to you, my brothers and sisters. Islam. Good night to you, my brothers and sisters from the Corporation of Guyana. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey on the Dr. Matthews-Bey Show. To those who are now joining, share the live. I'm coming live to you on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So share the live. To those who are now joining, share the live. Oh, brother. Share the live. I want to thank all those who are now joining, and I say a very, very pleasant good night to you. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live. To those who are now joining, share the live. Share the live. Tonight I'm going to speak on two things. To those who are now joining, I'm going to speak on the democracy, and I'm going to differentiate the word democracy in an etymologic type of way. I'm going to help you to comprehend the etymology of democracy, and I'm also going to talk about the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling, at least the democratic or the democracy explanation of the ruling will eventually wind into each other. So I want to welcome all those who are joining, share the live. In that time, I'll take another hour, another minute, or two before I start tonight's event, tonight's show. So share the live stream. Share the live stream. A very pleasant good evening to all those who are now joining. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey. Share the live stream. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live to those who are now joining. Share the live. Share the live. Share the live, everyone. Share the live. Share the live. A very pleasant good evening to you all, to those who are now joining. Share the live stream, share the live, share the live. Share the live. To those who are joining, you'll see on the platform there that I have exactly the information to present to you. So let me show it up here right now. This is the YouTube site, and you see it says right at the top there, G. Matthews. That's what the YouTube site says, G. Matthews, that you can go to the YouTube and you can also get the live stream there. And to those who are on the Facebook, you know you don't really have to do much, but you're already here. So I'm basically putting up the information so you can get to see it. Okay? Share the live stream to those who are not joining. Share the live. I'm going to put it back to the YouTube again so you can see it. It is G. Matthews on the YouTube. Share the live stream. Share it. Share it. Share it. Share it. Okay. So we're going to hold on a minute. So we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about democracy, and we're going to talk about the CCJ ruling today about the Corporation of Guyana. Everyone today saw democracy to its fullest. That what you see took place today of Elections Petition 99 of the Corporation of Guyana, which was thrown out by the Caribbean Court of Justice. It actually upheld the decision given by the Miss Wilkshire, the acting Chief Justice, Roxanne George Wilkshire. The Caribbean Court of Justice upheld her decision today. And it's based upon a few things. And one of them, it is that they failed to uphold the democratic process of the Constitution. What is the democratic process? What is democracy? What is really democracy? So we're going to break that down this evening. At one time on the show, I brought up this word democracy in its fullest of explanations. And I think what people did is didn't really give it no ear or eye, as a matter of fact. They didn't really concerned about what democracy is. So we're going to get down to that process. Democracy, derived from two words. The first one is aristocracy. Aristocracy, or aristocracy, a government in which a class of men to be believed to be superior rules supreme a firm of government which is lodged in a minority consisting of those believed to be best qualified. Did you see and hear what I'm talking about? To those who feel that they're best qualified to speak on behalf of who? The enslaved. That is democracy. To those who feel that they're superior to any other, in any other race, class, or type of cultures and people. Democracy derived from the word aristocracy. Now, why do I speak these things? It is because the laws were designed to give ear to those who believe that they are democratic rulers. And I said to you more than one time on this show, democracy is to who can best play the game wins that game. That's the facts. That is democracy. To who can best play that game wins that game. I'm going to read it back over to you so you can get to comprehend, or you can get to understand or overstand what I'm saying. A government in which a class of men, who is the class? An upper class of men, believed to be superior, rules supreme, a form of government which is lodged in a minority consisting of those believed to be best qualified. To be a class of men in a minority state, not a majority, in a minority state, who tells themselves that they are best qualified to argue on behalf of you. And that qualification comes from the offices of the attorneys general, the chief magistrate, the chief justice acting, the acting chancellor of the judiciary, the appellate court, and the Caribbean courts of justice. You see, they all have to argue that case to show that they're arguing on behalf of the people, to represent the rights of the people. What are they arguing on? Acts, codes, conduct, and statutes. You hear what they say today? You see what they derived their decisions upon is that they're saying you came to the Caribbean Court of Justice based upon a decision from the appellate court, and we now rule against the appellate court because we say to you that the appellate court did not function its duty well upon acts, codes, conduct, statutes. That's what governs democracy. And democracy is an autocracy, or it's an aristocracy. That's what it is. So we're going to divulge some more into it. It's also said a privilege of class of people, nobles, dignitaries, people of wealth and station. Okay. So democracy preaches and teaches about the majority wins. But here it is, a minority wins in the Corporation of Guyana, because the majority voted for a class of people to rule them, which is APNU AFC. But hey, the PPP see, look, The People's Progressive Terrorist Party, Civic, told themselves, well, look, the AP and UFC can't rule nobody because they're not in the class. They are not in that class to rule anyone. We, or the people we said that they got to rule us because they got the economics, which is the, and he who controls the economics controls power, and he who controls power controls the arms of government, the judiciary, police, the army, the doctors, the lawyers, the nurses. They control every arm that stretches out to give assistance and aid to their subjects. So whether you like it or not, it is who best play the game wins. Don't bother the fancy barrage you see happen with the Court of Justice, the Caribbean Court of Justice, when they were annoyed that Anil Nandalal gave out certain information. He showed them how to be lawless because that's what they are. That decision was made and preemptively according to the lines of communication of confidentiality. You know where in advance the decision of the Caribbean Court of Justice. And somebody breached the confidentiality. And the judges and lawyers are mad, they're annoyed, they're pissed off. It shouldn't happen. What is the breach of confidentiality? It is to show you how they can sit down and make decisions for the general public and take it time to deliver the decision to see how the public will react. That's what happened. But boy, we're going to take away the rights from them, but we got to funnel it in such a way that we got to create a conversation. That's the same thing happened in 2020. With the AP and UFC that won the election. They had to sit down along with the opposition, then the People's Progressive Terrorist Party, and try to bring around a compensation of understanding or comprehending that powers would have to be handed over to the People's Progressive Terrorist Party because it is a form of democracy. They have to do it because external powers says that this is what needs to happen. The rule of law now erodes. The rule of law now becomes eroded. The decisions that are made by the aristocracy noblemen has eroded the rule of law and the rule of justice. So you now feel that your constitutional rights were being violated because there's no democratic norms to a democracy. See, they're arguing 163(4)(d) and 162. I told you guys. Who best play the game wins. I even said to you that the Constitution dictates how a recount happens. So when you bypass, you gotta pick sense out of nonsense. A recount happens if, via way of counting the ballots, discrepancies were seen, being observed, and also being identified. That information flows to the returning officer. The returning officer now makes that advance to the magistrate's court, specifically stating that there were discrepancies found in the recounts and we need to have a recount. The sitting magistrate now makes that ruling on behalf of the returning officer and the grievance parties, where the grievance parties will say to the magistrate, this is the evidence that was found. The magistrate now who hears the case becomes the person who is in charge of the recount. Not Gavin Matthews-Bey says so. The Constitution of the Corporation of Guyana says so. Now, all of that has been bypassed. There was already a declaration. The recounting officer already put forward his declaration. They even took the recounting officer to court for discrepancies, and they withdrew that information, and they allowed that process to go on. After they found out that a deal was made. So all these things happen, all these unconstitutional things happen, where the president and the opposition leaders sat down and signed on to agreement for a recount, where the what you call it again? The Ghana Elections Commission chairperson, Claudette Singh, engaged in that operation because it was agreed to by the two aggrievance individuals. He's willing to sit and wait upon the declaration of the chairperson of the Ghana Elections Commission, and the other one who's complaining of fraud by the Region 4 chairperson, by the Region 4 returning officer. The recount happened. The evidence was provided by 47 boxes. Now an election petition was garnered, and it went to the courts. We expect the courts to rule. You already bypass the Constitution by the first place by having a recount happen without the originality and the legal procedures of the recount. That's what happened. Now the Caribbean Court of Justice rules in favor of the High Court and not the appellate courts. Some of us are jumping up and down. You hear the lawyers talk? Did you hear how they speak? They speak with affluence. They speak with virtual affluence. They used legal terms because the Constitution gives them the right via way of democracy. Hear what is their affluence and how they represent themselves. It says, and I'm going to read it back. It says, a form of government which is lodged in a minority consisting of those believed to be best qualified. A privileged class of people. This is what democracy is. Rules and dignitaries, people of wealth and station. That's what democracy is. So the lawyers that you see talk and represent you today, they are those kind of people. They rule supreme because only they know the logistic terms and terminologies and how to present themselves. So they challenge themselves before a court of justice, waiting for the magistrates or the judges or chief justices makes decisions based upon who best played the game wins. That's what happened today. Here, y'all don't stress yourself out with legality and logistics and all these different chronologies. It makes no sense. Because it is going to be there today, it's going to be there tomorrow. Crossing the I and dotting the T's, it will always be there. It's going to be a catastrophe from now on. Every election that you participate in and are looking to those to declare your votes victorious, and you can't hold them accountable for the utter nonsense that they're telling you, you're going to be in for a hell of a ride. It's going to be a hell of a bubble in the corporation again. It is. Because I'm going to bring you the other form of democracy. I've already explained to you the first form, which is aristocracy. Now hear this one. Now the other one is aristodemocracy. What is aristodemocracy? A form of government where the power is divided between the nobles or the more powerful and the people. Did you hear that part? A form of government where the power is divided between the nobles. Who are the nobles? In the very first explanation, who are the nobles? Let me explain to you who are the nobles again. A government in which a class of men believed to be superior rules supreme. A form of government which is lodged in a minority, means small amount of people, consisting of those believed to be best qualified. Those are the nobles. And a privileged class of people, nobles, dignitaries, people of wealth and station. So they're explaining it to you again here, helping you to comprehend what they're talking about. Now they're even telling you now, a government where the power is divided between the nobles or the more powerful. That's who the nobles are. And the people, well, between the people, they ciphered out who are the nobles, who can represent who. By here now, you and these sets of people are going to represent the AP and AFC. You and these set of people are going to represent the PPP, or the People's Progressive Terrorist Party. And y'all come together and see how y'all can talk about the representation of these people. That's what's happening. That is what is happening. And look what is more, look what's happening even more. Now, the lawyers are now telling you that they gotta prepare and look forward to a representation of Elections Petition 88, which is coming up on the 1st of November in the appellate court. Oh, sorry, the appeals court. What do you think will happen there? It's who best can play the game wins. You see, the Caribbean Court of Justice shouldn't be annoyed. They know who Anil Nandalal is. They shouldn't be annoyed. These are people that has no respect. These are persons who has no respect. You can talk what you feel like. At the end of the day, it's we in power. That's what I can tell you. That's what they would normally say. Ah, let the PNC, the PNU, AFC, and all them who want jump over make noise. Let them make noise. They tell themselves as they run the show. That's why they're a terrorist regime. All they can do is spew and spread terror. That's all they can do. They don't know anything else. And because we, the unedified ones, who doesn't know the process, see, like Dr. Matthews-Bey, you're something else. You're supposed to talk all these things. Why are you speaking all these things? Why are you edifying the people? Nobody gonna like you. You're going through a process that you're not supposed to. This process is supposed to be secret. So, as long as we keep going back to these esteemed nobles, you think they're going to give the people power? The people will only have power unless they take it, because power belongs to the people. But they don't want you to comprehend that. And listen to a few persons who think they have some esteem, chronologic explanation to talk, to explain to the people in a layman's term. I listen to them. I listen to Ralph Ramporan and all of them who thinks they have some esteem, knowledge to explain to you what took place. No, there's no esteem, knowledge. It's taking away your rights, your right to life, liberty, and property. Your right to life, liberty, and property. That is what took place today. And politicians, for those who agree and those who disagree, is going to come now and try to polish it up so it can give you a kind of a knowledge to run more crazy to those who will sit and comprehend what is being said. Suddenly, these esteemed doctors, lawyers, and PhDs, grads, and all these people come out of their university shell to tell me craziness, telling you about democracy. They're gone again with this craziness, and you are sitting down listening to it. But they have a right to tell you about democracy, because democracy only lies within them, the few. You see me, I'm different. I'm going to break it down into syllables, and I'm going to help you to comprehend it. As long as the practice of democracy is available in your governments, in every corporation around this globe, you will be enfranchised. You will be oppressed. Your rights will be taken away from you. You think they can change or chase? And they can chase, they can't chase you. They can talk where they feel like. It's a terrorist movement. They can only create terror among the people for you to fear them even more. This is what is happening. This is what is happening. Continue the fear. That's the point. Continue the fear. And they will keep on pushing it because they know you fear them. They know you fear them so greatly that you are afraid to get up and represent yourself. And the thing is that nobody is representing you, my people. Nobody is representing you. Everybody is trying to fit themselves in a democratic way, means of a life, democracy. The process of enslaving the people. You see, there's a continuance of things that are going on in this particular corporation of Kenya. You see, here is the craziness that is going on. Not only democracy has been exercised in its fullest by taking away your rights and your liberties, but now they're creating such a way that you cannot see beyond the democratic means and way of life. They have you in a bubble, and you can't move beyond that bubble. I'm going to show you the positions that they're creating. Can you remember a couple of months ago, the US Embassy has halted all visitors' visas to Guyanese? Because since the air fraud Ali government went into position, about 7,000 or 8,000 Guyanese left again on visitors' visas and ain't come back. So they halted it. Now they are trying to open it. Now they gain your visitors visa now. It's sending you to England. England is the first place it started now. Come look, y'all ain't gonna get visa to come to England. Y'all come. Whilst you coming to me country, which is the British, telling you whilst you coming to me country without visa, I go into you country without visa too because you have what I want. Oil. Every week you got 1 or 2 plane load of caucasites from the Europeans coming to Guyana. They coming with a family loaded, and they're expanding. Just now you are not a country to come back to. When you left and you leave Guyana, in the next 5 to 10 years, you can't come back here and say nothing as a Guyanese because you belong to a corporation. You're leaving a country, you're going there. Fine. You're still going into slavery and in the next 5 to 10 years, you can't claim nothing over here back. Expansion is creating for them. Just now you can hear, come to the United States, visa free. Why? You have a proper run. Guyanese playing the proper run. The disappearing like fleas. Imagine one Guyana. One Guyana come the 9th of next month. Every flight from Guyana to Britain or England is visa free. Man, Believe you me. When you meet it, they're gonna give you boarding. They're gonna tell you, well, we get at least spend a year, you can get your citizenship thing, and why you come back to the country? You come over here to this concrete jungle, become a more slave. You leave what you have over there, where we can exploit it because you're not there. Y'all best wake up. You guys best awaken thyself and realize where you are. You best comprehend what I'm telling you tonight because it's going to be a hell of a hunger. They ain't got nothing you can claim. Nothing. That's how they do their work. Y'all come in a bundle, come in droves. Abundant what you have worked so hard to achieve. You come over here and make life. Whilst we going over to your country and make a better life. Imagine they running from the concrete jungle, those carcassites. Running from the concrete jungle, coming to your corporation. Well, they actually own it anyhow. To take up what is rightfully yours. Well, you can't comprehend what is rightfully yours, so we can still take it. And even if you try comprehending, you can't do that because you're a slave. That's a fact. I can't help it but speak the truth. I'll be honest with you. A year ago, I was best to talk about democracy and politics and fighting for civil rights and all these things. A year ago, I was doing that. But then something clicked, and I suddenly awoke. I was supposed to be remaining asleep. I just suddenly arise to the occasion. My eyes were open and I saw the truth. Since I see the truth, boy oh boy, some people pissed off. Some people are pissed off because I am not supposed to teach the truth. Never. I'm not supposed to teach the truth. Some people didn't even want to hear the truth. They prefer to keep on hearing those lies. I mean, that's what makes them feel good, to talk about something, the lies. I know what? Some people know that there's complete and total lies. When I heard that nonsense today, I had to laugh. Maybe if I was still preaching democracy and still talking about the rule of law and all these things, acts, codes, conducts, and statutes, unknowingly helping to indoctrinate you, I would have been far better. And in response, I maybe would have been locked up again as part of the democratic process of life. You know, they would have been locking me up and all these things. But since I claim my indigenous aboriginal rights, you know, it's like I gotta scratch my head. I just gotta wonder, where are they that seeking to prosecute me? Oh no, don't bother Mr. Matthews-Bey. He has a full knowledge of what goes on. We're gonna try to dumb him down now. Flood the airways with algorithm, things that you want to hear. And things that you don't want to hear. put upon you more fear. I've never seen fear in its stinkness like how I'm seeing it now. It stink and dirty fear. You know, I was discussing with a friend today. I said to him, he was telling me, "Sir, boy, every time you come on Facebook now, I don't really get to hear you properly, and I don't really get to hear what you're saying and all these different things. I'm putting up back the YouTube information right now. I don't get to hear what you're saying completely, and I gotta wonder why is it that I'm not getting to hear you, right?" And this is to those who are watching me on YouTube. That information in front at the bottom of the screen here. So those who are watching me on YouTube, share the information so people can get to see me if they're not getting to see me, you know, properly on Facebook. So I told him, I said, look, I said, Facebook sends me every now and then that I have breached some copyright law, community standard. They like to say community standard. And I asked him, I said, what do you think is community standard? And he said, well, community standard is, you know, they got laws pertaining to what you may say and what you must say. And I listened to him. I said, this is what is community standard. Facebook has an algorithm that they give to you. Each country, it has an algorithm. Each area in that country has an algorithm that they give to a set of people. They know which part of the country you live in. They know your IQ and your intelligence based upon the information on your Facebook page, and they have algorithms that they give to you. I said, but if I, Dr. Matthews-Bey, comes with an algorithm that edifies you, instead of playing soca music, dancehall music, cuss out, fight, somebody get knocked down, I am now breaking the community standards of that algorithm. You get my point? The community standards is not for you to be edified. The community standards is for you to become and to remain domiciled. That is your persona. The minute I bring something that is outside of the community standards, then that violates the community standards. Because I'm not supposed to give you the kind of algorithm I'm giving you now. You're not supposed to be edified. You're supposed to be running wild and crazy. Oh God, the Supreme Court of Justice filed the elections petition for you ain't even know which petition they filed. Like one man said, well, Guyana dead, but he doesn't comprehend that the elections petition that was thrown out is elections petition 99. 88 is still at the appeals court. It didn't meet the Caribbean Court of Justice yet. But you're not supposed to comprehend that. Why? Because you're supposed to remain more domiciled, unedified. You cannot read, you cannot write. You could only identify words. And you could only understand them. But for me, I know the etymology of the words and I stand over it, or I understand on it, or I comprehend it. That's the difference. So the algorithm that I push out from my show will always have a problem to Facebook. Because Facebook, through the government of the Corporation of Guyana, or through the CEO, knows the kind of algorithm that they want their citizens to have. They know that their citizens cannot have the kind of algorithm that can edify them, that can push them to a point where they now resist what they do. That's why you got to get the dancehall algorithm. They shake your booty up and down. They push it, they pedal it. They got you showing all kind of signs with your finger and you're marking up your face and boring up your lip and your nose and pushing needles through your neck and then coming through the other with some kind of piercing and all sorts of things. That's an algorithm. You pay attention to that and that only. They don't want you to go through a process of edification. That algorithm is not for you. That is why the Caribbean Court of Justice and all these people takes advantage of you. Now, they rule, they shout all the evidence that was provided during the recount. And you know what? They know Guyana and Guyanese are not going to do anything about it. Nobody going to the streets of protest. Nobody going to do nothing. Because you can do nothing. The algorithm already have you there. And the leaders who are in charge of you doing something, they're not going to do anything too, because you know why? They don't want you to shorten their pay. They know if you get up and you go there and protest and you shut the country down, they know very well and carefully that they ain't gonna benefit nothing. Yes, welcome to the algorithm. That's what's going on. Poor Dr. Matthews-Bey. You're not supposed to teach people the truth. And when I teach you truth here, the first thing to say, no, the man crazy, yeah, then go. Oh, he's mad. He upstairs here walking rats. That's the first thing they'll say. They say he walking right. Something going on with Dr. Matthews' brains. Is either something knocked you down or no. And being exposed to the truth. They say when you are exposed to the truth, you become a free man. And all those who are in captivation or in captivity will hate you. That is the fact. The only way they will like you is if you return back into captivity. Like if I don't miss captivity. If you cannot sit down and see between the lines, that gray lining, that silver lining, if you cannot sit down and recognize that silver lining that has captivated you so long, believe you me, it's going to be a hell of a hobble. Because now it tells you that every elections petition that you will now bring to the courts will not be in your favor. It will not support or supply how you feel. You know what's the best elections petition? The streets. Shut the place down. Protest. A revolution. That's the best elections petition. They ain't got no judge can rule upon that. When the people speaks, which is the power. But the people don't comprehend the power because they do not comprehend the constitution that is there for their purpose, unless it's not interpreted properly by the nobles who practices democracy. That what you see took place today, that is democracy. That is democracy. That what you saw took place today is democracy. That is what you call a democracy. Whether you like it or not, that's the fact. You sit and waiting and hoping in a court. That nonsense that took place today shows you how corrupt is the Caribbean Court of Justice. They are practicing democracy. Don't be fooled. Don't be annoyed. They are practicing democracy. And you imagine they are annoyed that one of their fellow autocrats, one of their fellow terror individual came out before the decision and posted something on his Facebook site. And they're annoyed by it. He's not supposed to do that. He's breaking protocol. What is protocol? Protocol is what keeps you domiciled. It helps to keep you ignorant. It helps to enforce your persona of ignorance, because that's who you are. When you're a slave, it is your persona that makes you a slave. And when you're a slave, you're ignorant. So they say this is your persona. Persona means person. That is why I don't accept people calling me those things. You can't call me human being. You can't say the vile person. The minute you use that thing, that's not my persona. I can use your quotes against you for defamation. That is the problem. Your countries has signed on to a democratic process. That is the democratic process. That is democracy. Democracy is a government in which a class of men believed to be superior rules supreme. A form of government which is lodged in a minority consisting of those believed to be best qualified. And who do you call these persons? They are called aristodemocracy, a form of government where the power is divided between nobles. Nobles. Or the more powerful. That is democracy. Who is the nobles of Guyana and the more powerful? Members of Parliament, members of the National Assembly. They know what's going on. Every single day they know what's going on. Members of Parliament, members of the National Assembly, what makes up of political parties, either opposition or governance. They know these things. They know what they're doing to you. Believe you me. You can complain how much you want. They know what they're doing to you. Oh yeah. They really know what they're doing to you. And they're enjoying it. 100%. You talk what you feel like. Share this live. You know what I'm telling you. Continue to share the live. Be that veteran person of nobility. Start looking out for your people. I know what I'm telling you. Don't depend upon the political parties. They have their job to do. It's what you call democracy. And they will continue doing their job. If you can't wake up, they will still continue doing their job. Whether you want to remain asleep or not, that's your business. That is your business. Whether you want to remain asleep or not, that is your business. By the way, I hope that my time was useful enough that you can get to learn something tonight what took place at the Caribbean Court of Justice Corporations, so you can see exactly where your faith lies as a people. Democracy was promised to you on a piece of paper, but that doesn't mean you must receive the benefits of democracy, because it is an aristocracy or aristocracy. That's what it is. Check up those etymologies and you will get to comprehend more of it. I'm happy that I was being able to break certain things down to you tonight, that we can have our live discussion. You can be comfortable at it and you'll be able to comprehend even some more. My name is Dr. Matthews-Bey. I am an Aboriginal Indigenous Moor. To those who doesn't know who the Moors are, we were Bantu people. No, we are a Bantu people that is spread throughout this globe. On every continent, we stand as indigenous persons to that continent or to those corporations. Continue to share the live, because constantly I will come on my show and I will talk about Moors and their livelihoods and where we need to go right now as a people. We need to go back to economics and the unification of people to have strength and to overcome this current situation that we're in worldwide, so that we can have our say in this world today again. So stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. Don't forget that the ones who take into public places. This show came to you with the kind compliments of Black Love, Greenleaf Distributors, Event Management Services. I have started a movement. It is a movement for the Moorish community to have itself being brought on board again. It's been well recognized, and to come on board, we must be the powerhouse in every country we are. We must be there to claim our indigenous rights, not only to the land, but to claim our rights and be given our royalties to the treaties that were signed in 1700, 1777, 87, and we must be able to continue to live according to those treaties. This is Dr. Matthews-Bey saying good night and cheerios for now.